Hello there, you awesome trainers. 4 years ago, I did a rice shower build on JP using a budget deck on my main account. But this time, I'm doing a rice shower on EN Global using poverty rule sets with even more restrictions. I know a lot of people are saving for Kita-san Black and have only done the initial 40 rolls that you do when you reroll account. So I'm going to be also only doing 40 rolls on this completely fresh account I made and aiming to complete a rice shower career. Rice Shower is generally considered the hardest launch UMA to complete a career run on, due to a couple of factors. A big one is that her 20% stat boost is in Guts, which is the worst stat in the game currently. She also has a lot of random events during her career that will give her random mood downs, which is difficult to deal with and will cost turns to fix. However, those are only minor setbacks and won't stop us from having our Rice Shower achieve her dreams of winning the URA finale. We start off by collecting our free login supplies that we get from making a fresh account, and we immediately go into our rolls. For our daily free pull, we actually get SSR Twin Turbo, which is lucky, I will admit, but don't close the video yet because besides this guaranteed SSR ticket, I don't receive a single other SSR support card out of my 40 rolls. So at the end of our rolls, we're left with 2 SSR cards, one of them being the free guaranteed ticket SSR. So all things considered, this account's luck is not great. And we didn't even roll a single limit break for our SR cards. So we're using all base cards, no limit break levels, and we're making do with what we've got. So here we're buying our Rice Shower with our Head Start 3-star tickets. We are going to do everything we can to have this Rice Shower become a URA champion. First, I'm going to follow 2 guests, one with a pretty decent legacy parent and one with a level 40 Super Creek. Ideally, you can follow someone with a level 50 Super Creek, but those are actually pretty hard to come by currently, so only having a level 40 Super Creek is a little more realistic for the average person. So here we are, starting our Rice Shower career. We picked this 9-star guest that has 6 speed and 3 stamina, and for our own legacies, since this is a completely fresh account, our options are not great. We end up going with this Daiwa Scarlet because she has 1 star in speed, stamina, and power, and she also raises Rice Shower's base affinity to double circle, which may help a little throughout her career. So now I'm building our deck. I'm choosing our SSR cards as a base foundation. My target is to have 3 speed cards, 1 stamina card, and 1 power card. I'm now deciding what I want the 6th card to be, and I'm deciding between either stamina or power. In the end, I chose power, mostly because I didn't have an SR stamina card. And I'd rather have the extra 5 levels on a second power card than having to use a R stamina card. And power isn't a bad choice either, because power is important for every UMA, and power training also gives stamina at a reduced amount. So you can consider power cards kind of like half a stamina card as well. Of course, our guest Super Creek is going to do a lot of heavy lifting, being level 40, also providing us with really strong stamina skills, like swinging Maestro. This will help offset the stamina challenges that we'll be having from only running 1 stamina card for an UMA with a lot of long races in her career. If you haven't watched my 2 training guides, then I'd recommend you do that first, since some of these decisions will make more sense afterwards. I start with just picking whatever training method has the most friendship bonds, because our year 1 goal is to get these friendship bonds to at least rainbow level. And for all of our support events, we prioritize energy, stamina, and then speed or power. We get a very strong 4-piece speed training here. And currently what I'm thinking is, if I don't have a really great training day, I'll just spend a turn going on a date to raise her mood. Since I'm going to have to eventually, I might as well do it when there's no other great options going on. So right here we get a 3-piece speed card, which would be nice, but unfortunately our energy is a little too low, which makes our failure rate 34%. It's not worth greeting it in my opinion, so I just take a rest and hope for better trainings down the line. A 4-piece wit is always welcome, and since our energy is full, we do the option that raises the director's bond. Another 4-piece stamina, and a 3-piece speed. Overall, I consider this pre-make debut stretch extremely lucky, with a lot of really strong training picks with 3 or 4 pieces and good training stats. I've mentioned in my guides how you should always put your Uma as a front runner for the make debut, but Rise Shower is one of the exceptions because her ult skill requires her to pass people on the last stretch of the race. If you put her as a front runner, then it'll be hard for her to pass people since she's in the front. So by putting her as a pace chaser or below, we're able to potentially pass people on the last stretch and have her ult pop. So she passes someone here, but doesn't need her ult because she is a make debut champion. So even with relatively weak starting legacy parents, we easily meet the stat check for make debut with the help of some really fortunate trainings. Make sure to give your Rise Shower a lot of headpats after winning each race because it'll make her happy. So now we have 17 turns until our next race, and we need to do one extra race in between to get enough fans to reach the fan requirement for this race. So what I'm thinking is I'll save the extra race until there's no other good training options. You don't want to be in a position where you put off the needed race until the very end and then needing to skip a really strong training day because of your procrastination. Getting the race out of the way when you have no other good training options for the turn is very efficient. So for the rest of year 1, we're still just raising our bonds, trying to do efficient training days, and getting all of our supports to the orange gauge. Since my energy is too low to do a training here, I check for races if there's any good medium distance races I can do to pick up some quick fans. There's only a mile G3 race, and I was only able to get Rise Shower's mile skill up to a B with her legacy parents. I want to avoid mile races as much as I can, even though it has a star in the race schedule. So 6 turns to go, and I still have to do a race for fan count. I'm just planning to do this whenever I don't have any great training options, or until I have to. So here, there's no medium races available for the day, so I don't feel bad taking an extra training day to raise more bond. A double rainbow training day is a great pickup, and now we have 3 turns to do our needed race. First, I want to make sure there's no amazing training days. But when I check the race schedule, there's no medium races available, so I guess we're doing another training day today. We definitely need to do a race soon, and luckily there's a medium turf race that'll give us 2,000 fans if we win. With our pretty strong early training days, we are easily able to win this race, even with one of our legacy parents being almost useless. Make sure to give Rise Shower her headpats for trying her best, and we take a rest due to low energy. Not worth risking high percentages for only okay training days. I'm deciding if I want to spend down skills for this mile race, since I'm not expecting to do good due to only having a B in mile, which is a pretty severe racing penalty. I don't see any skills that are generally strong for her, so I decide to just enter the mile race. I'm not expecting her to do great, but she does end up with an amazing second place. A lot better than I was expecting, honestly, for having a B in mile. Again, if you're training Rise Shower yourself, if you want to win this race in particular, I'd recommend bumping her mile to an A with legacy parents. You only need to place top 5 for this race, so it's not absolutely critical, but just something to keep in mind if you're interested. We get our inspiration events with nothing spectacular, just the normal blue stats, giving us a lot of speed and a bit of stem as well. Make sure to give her headpats and another double speed training day. Currently, our stat balance is looking pretty solid. Our stamina is okay, our speed is okay, and our power is also okay. We get a classic Rise Shower event that drops her mood a bit, but no problem. Worst case scenario, we can do a rest during summer to bring her mood up. And most importantly, our stamina stat is in a good place right now, so I'm not too worried. She gets an amazing first place in the Japanese Derby. And now we plan for summer, with our goal being to start with as much energy as possible, and preferably a great mood. There's a rainbow speed training here, but I prioritize bringing the mood to summer to start off for a potentially even bigger power spike. We get an okay rainbow power training, and a single rainbow speed training. I'm not really happy with this, and I know we only have enough energy for one more training day, so I decide to whip pass in hopes of getting something better the next turn. Unfortunately, we don't get a rainbow for the next day, but those are the kind of chances you have to take if you want to end up with really strong luck. which requires gambling on the next turn instead of taking an okay current turn. It doesn't always pan out, but leaving the option open depending on where you are in your career might be a good idea. We have about 50 energy here, but none of the trainings really excite me, and taking any of the trainings would again make our next turn not be able to do a potentially good training day. So we decided to take a rest here, to max out our energy bar and maybe get a couple of banger training days down the line. Swinging Maestro is OP, so we snap pick it, and this is a 3,000 meter long race. With 380 stam and Swinging Maestro, our stamina should be fine for this race. And Rise Shower absolutely clears everyone, with an amazing first place. So with late November, this is normally where I take the Japan Cup G1 race, but we ended up getting a double rainbow speed training, which it pains me to skip the Japan Cup, but it's hard to pass up a really strong training day. I'm still aiming to start year 3 with 70k fans though, so my plan instead shifts to running the Arima Kinen, which is a long race that gives a 30k fan boost. Again, we've been doing pretty good stamina trainings, and our power trainings have also been helping out our stamina. Not to mention the Super Creek stamina skill helping us out. We're able to easily keep up with the long race and snag it first for the Arima Kinen. With this win, our fan count goes from 50k to 90k, meaning that our fan checks in year 3 are now a lock. Make sure to give her headpats, don't forget that. And here I'm picking between 3 different rainbow trainings, and I decided to go with power, because the 2 rainbows, in my opinion, is stronger than the single rainbow in speed. And for our raffle, we get the legendary Hot Spring ticket. Now I'm sitting up and locked in, because we have to win this career now. Our ult gets leveled up to 2, because our fan count is high due to the Arima Kinen race we took. And we continue year 2. My goal is to raise stamina to around 600 if possible, and then to get our speed stat as high as we can. I check our skill list to see if there's any generally strong skills to take, and I go with Homestretch Haste, which has a lenient proc condition. I also pick up Straight Descent, which is a Pace Chaser skill, and essentially locks us into Pace Chaser for the rest of the career. Even though the inspiration event is coming, I'm not really confident that I'm that much ahead of the stat curve of our career. So by putting in extra skills, it'll decrease the chance that we lose this race. She grabs an easy first. And we get our second inspiration event. We only got the corner recovery white spark, but we already had that from buying Swinging Maestro from earlier. And we run the Tenno Show Spring, another long race. Again, I've been monitoring our stamina closely throughout this run, making sure it never falls behind where it needs to be. And sure enough, our stamina is more than enough to get an insane lead on this race. A distance length on a poverty build Rice Shower is kind of insane, you've got to admit. It really just comes down to having a really solid stat spread. We have enough stamina and pretty solid speed and power, along with a couple of really strong skills as well. With one turn till summer, I've got really high hopes now for finishing out this career on a high note. Our next turn has a forced career race, so I decided to take a rest just to start us out with a really strong summer after the race. She starts out in 3rd, but her ult pops and she speeds to another first. Ults are pretty good, y'all. Don't forget to get your fan counts up throughout your career to level them up. And now we start the second summer and pray for rainbow trainings. First turn, no rainbow trainings. Second turn, no rainbow trainings. Third turn, no rainbow trainings. And finally, 4th turn, no rainbow trainings. I'm slightly tilted here, but it's not Rice Shower's fault. Make sure to give her some headpats. She's trying her best for you. With no particularly strong options, I'm now deciding if I want to either get her stamina a little higher or just keep pumping speed. I end up choosing speed because her stamina is good enough at 500, particularly because she has Swinging Maestro. Our energy is really low and we don't take the 40% fail chance. So we do a rest and get rewarded with a night owl. If you thought this was a particularly lucky run, think again. We're getting rush showered pretty hard here. Thankfully, our infirmary doesn't fail. Here I have no great training options. Again, no rainbows, but it is late October, which means the 10-0 show is available. A long G1 that gives you a pretty decent amount of fans. I skip to the final segment and she starts out here at a 6th, which makes me a little nervous. But I shouldn't have doubted her. She pops her ult and just runs away with the competition. This rush shower is really something. The G1 gives us a power increase and also skill points, and also gives a mood up. Unfortunately, we did a date right before this, so that turn was kind of a waste. Not a big deal though. However, we still don't get any training options here. So I decided to do a wit training to kind of pass the turn for the future. And still, no rainbow trainings. So with no good training options, I decided to buy a few skills and enter the Japan Cup, another G1 race. I'm running out of options for really strong skills, so I go with focus. She's been starting to have late starts a lot. However, she gets another insane first place victory for the Japan Cup, with another mood up increase. Don't skip on your G1s, y'all, especially if you have no good training options for that day. We finally get a rainbow training here, because I'm desperately wanting to get our speed stat a little bit higher. We meet the fan check so our ult level's up to 4, and we get ready for the final boss where dreams go to die, the year 3 Arima Keenan. Luckily enough, our stamina is in a good spot here with 500 plus stamina skills, and we get a easy first. Don't forget the headpats. And our URA gauntlet ends up being a medium course, probably because we did a couple of optional medium G1s. No rainbows here, but I still want more speed, so I take speed. I'm just doing a quick check of our skill list, and since we have a medium URA, I decided to pick up a medium skill just to increase the odds that she wins. And here for the second URA race, she pops her ult and just blasts off. This horse is just too good. Again, no rainbow training here, a little sad, but we do pick up a final speed training, mostly because our stamina is in a good spot. With the final race, I decide to see if there's any skills to get. I check the race conditions, which is sunny and good, and I decide to pick up a green skill that gives me a bonus on good ground. Green skills are generally low value, but there's nothing else for me to buy. And I really want to win this race because my hot spring date with the right shower depends on this, so I pick it up. Finally, the URA finals. If I were to do a retrospection on this career, my year 1 was really strong with a lot of 3-piece and 4-piece support trainings. My year 2 was generally good. I did get rush showered one time with the mood down, but I got an okay amount of rainbows. And for my year 3, it was pretty bad. Particularly the summer vacation where I got 0 rainbows until immediately getting a bad rest night owl debuff. And there was also a general lack of rainbows for my 3rd year as well, which is unfortunate because all my support bonds were maxed. But that's okay, here we are in the finals. Rush Shower's doing her best. She's unfortunately dropped to a 7th place on the final spurt, but she's not giving up. Thankfully our speed stat is good, which lets her pass people and proc her ult. And she ends up winning the URA finals. Absolutely incredible. Don't forget to give her Headpats. And we end the career with 318k fans as Rice Shower on a completely fresh account using poverty cards. In addition to that, one of our parents are essentially useless, which just goes to show if you make good decisions throughout your career, you can win any run. None of our support cards are limit broken, and even our guest support card isn't maxed out. But we played good, we made good decisions, we made the best out of our bad luck, and set ourselves up for the good luck that we got. Here we are, a Rice Shower that won 14 races out of 15. The only race she lost was that mile race, and she still came in second despite having a B rank in mile. Our stat balance is almost ideal, having enough stamina to be comfortable, and then a relatively good speed and power stat. Our wit is also in the golden zone between 300 and 500, and our guts is still below 400 as well, which means we didn't over level our guts. Of course, you gotta equip the hot spring title on your Rice Shower that tried her hardest and did her best. There we go, Rice Shower, full career victory on a fresh poverty account. Hopefully my decisions and thought-making process gave a little bit of insight to you, and stay tuned for more Uma Musume content in the future. I'm going to do these fresh account poverty challenges for a couple of other Umas. Let me know if there's any in particular that you want to see, and thanks for watching. If there's anything to take away from this video, is that if you give your Uma tons of Headpats, it'll inspire her to do her best.